Hi guys, John here, Mr. Forex Fire. So this is after 2 days of this morning sessions on the London. We attained, or we kept that 100% win record using minimal risk. Okay, again, I'm not jumping in straight away with this, risking 1% trades. It's 0.10, and we've grew the account very slowly, taking care of the pennies. We'll look after the pounds, and I'm just about to take you over to today's session. Worth taking notes on, guys. And again, just remember that this is me learning this concept, learning this method, and trying to keep myself accountable and vlogging what I'm doing. So then I look back on the weekend to watch the videos I've done, to then be able to see what I done right. And also, more importantly, if I do anything wrong, I can identify that by going back over the videos. So enjoy the video, guys. See you later. Well, guys, John here, Mr. Forex Fire. So last week we started trying to get into the ICT concepts of trading, trying to drill down a method, a strategy, a style that would suit me in the time that I'm going to be at the chart. We got some great profits. We ended up getting about 1% of that working week, which if we held profits, if we held trades, we could have made about 10 or 15%. But that comes part and parcel of the game, keeping patient and learning when to hold. We ended up giving most of that profit back because I started adding other things into the plan. And then we dropped down, and we still didn't go in drawdown of the overall balance of 10K. We ended up losing about 145 profit and brought it back down to $5 of profit. Yesterday, we got back into it, went to basics, and added one or two other features, and decided to steer within proper risk management, even though this is paper trading, and not over trade, and stay within the equity that we got. Okay, and we did a trade. We didn't get a trade until the New York session, but we ended in profit and took that $5 of profit up to just under $15. So we more or less doubled or trebled that. So that I'm happy with that. Today we're going to try and mix in a couple of other pairs if I can juggle the price and things like that. So what we're going to do, we're going to start again, and we're going to use the GBP USD first of all to mark this up. Now what I need to do is cancel off any lines and everything off the other day. We'll just go to a daily first of all and have a check on where we are with price. So at the moment, we can see we've got a lot of buy side liquidity here. Okay, so we could target this area here, and we've got sell side liquidity right down on the bottom. Okay, so I'm just going to mark them two up at the moment. We could expect some form of retracement today, based upon the daily and the way it sort of made high highs, high lows, high highs, high lows, high highs. We come down to break through this area, but then we had a continuation. So we're stuck at the moment, like I say, within a big range. There's this range here. And with this being on the daily, it will be quite an amount, to be fair. So there's 586 pips within that range. Now what I want to do is go down to the hour. And we can see from yesterday, okay, this is the range from yesterday. We just put on, we've got the kill boxes on there. Going to move this to midnight. It is 8:15 in the UK. We'll move this to New York. We can see that's the New York timeline. Put the vertical line here. And then what I want to do is put in horizontal ray, and I want to do the previous daily low. And I also want to put in the previous daily high. Okay. And we mark those up. Now, when we're looking at price, we can see obviously we've come into, we'll go down to 15 minutes. We can see we just bring in the midnight open. This here is the open of price midnight New York time. This here is the open of price of the New York session. Okay, so I don't need to fill these out. I've just basically got an idea of where price has been on the open of midnight going into New York midnight, I should say. And my trading view seems to be going mental. Just bear with me. We'll go back on. Hopefully that was just a one-off. Never experienced that before. So again, and it's doing it again. What's up with this? Just bear with me because I'm going to pause the video and then I'll have to come back on. There's something playing up. Right, sorry about that. So it was playing up a little bit there. We got the GBP USD. We've got the previous daily high, previous daily low. This is the London kill box, New York kill box from yesterday. This was the open of the New York kill box yesterday. So this will be obviously the morning of the open of the New York session. And then we've got the open of the midnight. Okay. Directional bias at the moment, if I just go down to 15 minutes, I can add in the high of today. So we just go on this here. Put in the text box today's high. PD high. And then I want to put in today's low. And that actually happened to be on the midnight open of New York. So just go on here and we'll put TD low. And that's the basket I want to work between at the moment. We can then go down to the 2 minute. Okay. And then what we're ideally wanting to see is a break of the high of the day of today's high or a break of the low. And we can try and work a trade from around that. If we fail to get that, then obviously we will work between the previous day and the previous day low. I'm going to pause the video and I'm going to do the similar sort of setup onto these other trades, these other baskets. Okay, see if we can get 2 or 3 added on there today. So just bear with me and I'll be back in a short while. Again, what we will be waiting for is the yellow boxes to form. I'm not going to try and keep this to like to an hour and an hour and a half. I'm going to wait and come back online on video once we get into the kill zones. Okay, so I shall see you once the open comes. All right, guys. So just before we go into the sort of kill zones for the New York, okay, the London Open, I should say, we've got our basket with 3 pairs. We've got the GBP USD. We've got the midnight line for New York. We're on New York time, okay. So as we go into 4 a.m. of New York time, it will be 9 a.m. in London, okay. So from there, on the GBP USD, we've got yesterday's low, PDL, yesterday's high, or previous day high, which is the PDH, okay? As we worked through yesterday, we then come into midnight, and that midnight timeline is for New York, as I say. And we can see the midnight line here, which is the open. We can see yesterday's 8:30 again, just to reiterate what that is. That's the New York open yesterday at kill zone. But within the 15-minute range, which is what we are now, we've got a previous day high, today's high, sorry. And we've got the today's low on the GBP USD, which happens to be the open of price at midnight, okay? Then we've got GBP JPY again, previous day high, previous day low. Coming into the midnight of New York, we've had price go above the open price. So we've got a today's high here, and we've got a today's low. So the price has actually went between the two areas of the midnight open and the New York open of yesterday. Euro USD, once again, just to run it down for you. I'll just get this in. Today high. So we've got the previous day high, PDH, PDL, which is previous day low. We worked through yesterday's price action, and then we come to midnight of New York, and then we've got the midnight open price of New York is actually still today's low, and price has gone up a little bit, and we've created a today's high. The today's high price is higher than yesterday's open price of the New York midnight. Okay, so again, we are going to wait until we get towards 9:30, and that's when I'm going to start a trade from. I'll pause the video. Hopefully you've took a couple of notes this morning and like sort of worked out how I put my fence post up. So I'm going to wait till around about 9:30, and then I'm going to start looking to trade, and then we'll take it from there, guys. Today's risk management, again, we've got, I'll get this paper trade back on. We've got just under $15 of profit from the other day. And then from there, we're just going to risk, because we've got 3 items in a basket, I'm just going to risk 0.10%. So if I do get 2 or 3 trades, I'll be risking underneath 0.5% for today, if that's okay, guys. And then we'll see if we can build upon the profits on here. Because looking after the pennies, we'll look after the pounds. I want to try and trade this as if I was trading properly, and I just don't want to risk 1% every trade. Sometimes risking that amount is just too much, in fairness, with regards to starting off on your trading journey. Okay, so we'll be back in the next hour. By the time we come back, we'll start seeing the formation of the yellow box forming on here, which will be our London kill zone. Okay, guys, see you in a bit. Right, so we're about 20 minutes away from, obviously, the open of London, but you can see we've now had a break of a today's low. So what we'll do is, if we go down to the 1 minute, you can see we've got the boxes in now. We haven't broke structure of the today's high or today's low on the Great British Pound with the USD. We haven't done it with the Great British Pound Japanese Yen yet, but we've done it with the Euro USD, albeit we are not in an open as such for the London Open. We're still around about 20 minutes away. So because we broke the low, again, the simple method is we broke, we're going to come up, possibly make another low. I want to see a break of structure to, obviously, the lower high that's been made. And then when we get that displacement, we're basically looking for the fair value gap within this displacement as we try to make a change of character from forming the high, the lower low, lower high, lower low, and then breaking that lower high to form a new high. That is the displacement from the movement. And if it's big enough and we leave a fair value gap, I then want to trade into that to go higher, to possibly target like areas like this. So as we're coming down to form a low, lower high, lower low, we get a change of character which forms from a higher from the lower high. Okay, and then when you get that displacement, is the best way I can describe it is, as that push there, as that leg, we just get the arrow, as we get this leg here pushing up to break out of that range there. And what I mean by range, let's see how we've got the low here and we get a high here. That would be a range. Okay, and as price comes out and displaces through that area there, it's then going to leave, or it would normally leave, some form of a fair value gap where there's been too many buyers and not enough selling in play. So we then wait for that pullback into the fair value gap or the imbalance area to then push and target, like I say, to these higher sides. So if we just like sort of roughly played this sort of thing out, you would then have a price from here protected to the low on there, and then you'll be targeting somewhere up here, you know, because you've had that break of structure and out of that lower high to create the high point, which is halfway to having a change of character. The fully change of character would be once this leg here, once you've got your high, your lower, lower high, lower, you get the break of structure from that point, creates a high. You get an entry in from here, which would be the fair value gap. A change of character comes and gets confirmed once you produce another higher high. So then as you've got the downtrend coming in, like I see, you have that downtrend coming in. What's happening is then you get the break of structure not once, but then you get the break of structure twice, because it takes out this high point as well. And this is what you would call a change of character or a chock. Okay, so again, that's just a little brief explanation of the sort of stuff we're looking for in the play-by-play book of what we're doing. But again, at this time, I'm trying to refrain from entering any trades whatsoever before 9 o'clock. I want the 9 o'clock open to come in. So if I take this to the 15-minute, I'll get the today's low, and then I can place this down to here. Okay, we'll get the magnet on just to make sure we've got it. And that's what I want to run the play-by-play by, if that makes sense. Again, we're going to let it do what it wants to do. Once we get after 9 o'clock on the morning, which you see up here, it's 8:41 UK time. Once this gets past 4 a.m. New York time, then we can start actively looking for our trading ideas within the trading session and the time frame that we are going to allow ourselves. Okay, so again, we've got today's low. It looks as if it's going to come in and it's going to take out that newer low that it's just made just before the London Open. Price-wise, we're still stuck within the range of the GBP, GPY. It's a range of about 50 pips. And likewise, we've got quite a range on this one, to be fair. But again, it's not too bad. It's 30 pips. So at the moment, what we're looking at is obviously possible a run of play on this one here. Not going to get in on a trade, like I say. Again, we've got a low. We've created that new low point. And what you would be waiting for, if it was after the 9, if it was after, like I say, the 9 a.m. or the 4 o'clock New York, you would be waiting for that push above here to take the liquidity out here to then possibly leave behind a fair value gap, you know. And when we talk about fair value gaps, again on the 1 minute, we've got a one here. We've got between the selling power here, we've got the wick, and then we've got the wick. So this you might find that this will actually sort of do as we thought, come up, come down, and then come up to here, then come down. Then it might take off to go back towards that midnight and the 8:30 time, you know. I'm going to leave this on, and then we'll see what happens coming into the 9 o'clock session, okay? Be back in a short while. We've got about 10 minutes left, guys, before that opens. So again, this is pre-open. So you can see here, we actually came down, we came up, and then we've come back down. If I get rid of that fair value gap there, okay, and if I just move this pattern out the way, you can see as we ran above the high here, okay, this lower high, we created a fair value gap right there. It's come in, that's the displacement, it's come in to touch. So again, you could have, let's say I had an entry around about here, and then you could run for a 1 to 2, Let's have a look. You could see it. Let's go for like a 1 to 2 on there. Again, this is not a trade. I'm not opening a trade. It's pre. This is pre sort of pre-London Open, I should say, you know. So again, it's subjective where you would have that low. You could kind of have it below here, or if you wanted to go for the full, you could do it around about here and then widen this up a bit and maybe go for like a 1.5, you know, just to keep things safe. Just going to keep this on. We'll see what happens prior to this. So this will give me an understanding on whether I'm doing the right thing, not getting in before a session open, you know. So we'll take a little look through the other two pairs at the minute. We haven't had a break of today's high or low on that, and neither have we had it on that just yet. Euro USD, we were around about here this morning. So again, if we just mark up the liquidity side and see where we've come to at the moment, so we're around about 0.5%. We'll see if that'll go up and reach to the 1.5% growth. Again, subjective, because you could actually bring this in closer and do it between here, because as you see on here, we've got a high, a lower high in essence, because we've had a little bit of a pullback. You could have your stop loss in a little bit tighter, to be fair. What I'm trying to play with at the minute is the possibility and testing of whatever is the low on the entry candle or the fair value gap, okay? I'm looking to sort of place the stop loss underneath the last candle, if that makes sense. So we'll see if this plays out, and this is where I would possibly have had it, to be honest, due to obviously the fair value between this and this, where you will be protecting it to this area here. We'll just see if this would have pushed and give, in this instance, it would be a 3.5 at least. And again, if it comes down and it plays into the drawdown, obviously I can extend this to see if it would have held due to this area here. We just want to try and refine and get our best sort of data, collect data, as we see it, to see what works for us. Because again, if we get enough trades that actually play out for us on this sort of bias, where yes, we've had the highs, the lower lows, the lower highs, the lower lows, then the displacement coming back into the fair value gap, protect your SL just below the candle previous to where the fair value gap would be fulfilled, and then which would be this sort of area here for sure. But we're coming into this order block bit. We'll see if the structure holds. Like I say, if it doesn't and we come into drawdown and it plays through this, I'm going to bring this a little bit underneath this protected low just to see if that would be protected, you know. So I'll pause the video. We're about 8 minutes away. We'll see if this is going to play out on the tighter stop loss, or if it would have needed that little bit longer, or indeed, if in fact it was just the wrong time to maybe pull the trigger. Yes, we haven't pulled the trigger, but we just sort of lining the ducks up to see how they would have performed pre-London Open. Okay, guys, I hope you're taking sort of notes and understanding the approach that we're taking with this at the moment. I'll be back in a short while. There we have it, guys. Even though this is New York Stock Exchange bell, we are in the London Open now, 9 o'clock in the morning. And retrospectively, we are in 4 o'clock New York time. And look at this, guys. This actually went and played. And look what's happened. On that open, it shot up. So that would have been a fantastic 1 to 3.57 start, you know. But like I say, this is why it's best not to trade just before the open, because the volume that comes in, you know, the volume that comes in, we could not have predicted what would happen at the start of the open. But again, guys, we worked this out. We looked at it. We identified a fair value gap from that breaker structure after taking it to today's low. And looking at this, we got it right. Fantastic, which is the aim. This is what we want to do, build confidence. But at the same time, we could have grown the account by at least a few percent there as well. So not to worry. We just take everything out. And this is just getting our eyes and everything else warmed up. From there, we are just simply now waiting for a today's high or a today's low taken out. And what I will do, I'm now going to set my alarms on these areas. Let's go to the GBP, JPY. What will happen when the alarm goes off? I will come back to the trading desk to see what is happening, to see if we can sort of get in on a trade as soon as any of these areas have been broken. Okay, so we're looking at this. We could have had a fantastic 1 to 3.5 this morning, but again, I don't want to over risk the trading plan, because after all, the trading plan, as I have it, is simply we get a liquidity grab. We had that from here on this morning, and then we wait for a displacement back to the opposite side. We got that with this here because we broke this structure here. Okay, and as we broke that structure, we left behind the fair value gap here. We got an entry in on here, and we targeted, which was a nice 50% of this fair value gap, and it went in nicely, creating a change, a little bit of a change of character, and a little bit of a flag pattern coming back into this area. Again, we might go into a little bit of consolidation for a bit just after the 9 o'clock UK time start and the 4 a.m. New York. However, I'm going to wait between now and 9:30, let the volume and the markets settle a little, and then I've got the alarms set for the today's high and today's low. If any of these get broken with regards to the Euro USD, the GBP, JPY, or the GBP USD, my alarm will go and we'll come back to the trading desk. Okay, guys, let's see if we can get a couple of entries on a couple of different pairs. And again, the risk for today, I'm going to continue from yesterday. I'm going to risk a 0.10. It's not massive amounts, but again, if we get 3 entries, that's a total risk of just under 0.5%. And at this stage, we don't want to sort of risk the account too much. From there, guys, again, at the end of the session, I've got the sheets, and I'll be looking at filling this out. Let's just have a look. Dashboard. That's the wrong one. I thought I saved this yesterday. Let's have a look. There we are. I think it's that one there. So the dashboard, we took one trade yesterday. Again, obviously you've only got the 1 dot because it hasn't collected much data. We started yesterday at $10,005.32. We grew that account to $10,014.04. Look after the pennies, look after the pounds. We had a profit yesterday of around about $8.72. Again, a percentage gain of a 0.09. Okay, again, slow and steady wins the pace. We've got a Sharpe ratio of 1.6. Again, because that was the first trade yesterday. Average win 872. It goes without saying it was the only trade yesterday. Average loss has not been filled simply because we haven't took a loss just yet. We've got consecutive wins. Again, we've got the type of trades we've took, statistics. It was a long yesterday. The time we were in that trade yesterday was roughly 9 minutes, I do believe. So that's the hour, that's the tens of the minutes, and that's the units of the minutes. So it was 9 minutes we were in that trade. Again, for the month of January, that one trade, 872, and it's going to give us statistics here. We've got a monthly profit to loss. We've got the strategy, which I would put this down as ICT method. The currency pair that we traded yesterday was the GBP USD. It would have been nice to have that Euro USD on this, to be fair. But again, we go down, and as we build the data, this is going to give us some fantastic reporting, and that was a trade-off yesterday. We went all the way from the London session into New York, and it wasn't until the New York session, just before my closing time of trading, because I normally trade till just after 3 p.m, around about 3:10 that when I sort of close things off. This is when the trade come in, an hour prior to that. But so far, so good. We've got the first one on the board, trading wise on that. We've got our ducks lined up with regards to where we are from this London session. Let's see if we can get some trades in, guys. Okay, risking 0.10 today, and we'll take it forward from there. I shall see you in a bit. All right, guys. So we've just had an alert on the JPY. Let's just go over to that. We can see we have taken a liquidity high. Okay, so now what we're waiting for on this is we just bring up the trading plan. We're waiting for the liquidity grab. Okay, so we're waiting for the liquidity grab. We got that just minimal on there. We had this set with a magnet. We now wait for the displacement coming down, which in all honesty, let's take a look. There is a bit of a pullback on this area here, but again, we want to see quite an amount of displacement, to be fair. So just to draw this out, as we've come down and then we pulled up, we want to see a displacement through here, leaving behind a fair value gap where we can trade into to start to trade lower, okay, possibly into this area. So again, we'll wait for the 30 seconds of this candle to play out. We'll just get our screen cursor on. Looks like this has got a stay on green, which I don't mind, to be fair. There's our displacement coming through. Okay, 3 seconds left. We get rid of this. We get the sell on, the stop loss of 10 pips. We set a 0.10. Let's have a look at this. Short. Want to be quick enough on this. Short. If we go for a 1 to 2, we'll take profit on 15 pips. I've took the trade. I haven't put it on as a right. I need to close this out as soon as it goes into profit. I've made a mistake on there, guys. Made a mistake. Balls that up. Right, so we close that out. That was lucky. We want to have a sell position here. 10 pips a stop, take profit. We would have as 20 pips. So the risk will be risking a tenner to make 20 back. Okay, so we place that there now. Just bring this above here. Bring this here. So we'll modify an order. Risking 10, 0.010, 0.11, sorry, 13 pips for a 2 to 1. There we are. We'll see. We'll get that return into that. So luckily we didn't sort of we didn't faff the account up a little bit. We gained a couple of dollars due to a fat-fingered mistake. Let's see if we'll get this return into here. And then we can play, obviously, this order. I just want to try and go for a simple one, just under 1 to 2 by the time we've grabbed that other bit of profit. Like I say, I'll pause the video. I'll be back in a short while. We'll see how this plays out. All right, guys, we've got the Euro USD now taking effect as well. I want to come out of that trade now because it's absolutely tanking out. Get rid of that. We'll see what happens with this. Look at that. That's going from today's high down to today's low. Euro USD. We're looking at the liquidity grab here. We want price to sort of start coming back towards that area there, to be fair. We'll see. We'll get a push to that side there. Just got to be mindful of this. The GBP, GPY. Going to leave a big fair value, to be fair. I've got that candle there. I've got the previous daily low here. We just look at the short position. We'll come in at 50% of that. I'm a little bit wary of this area up here still, to be fair. Previous daily low. I don't know whether I'm going to take this trade, to be fair. Although I might. 13 pips. See if we can take it down to the previous daily. That's 13 pips for 40 pips. GPY. So we sell there. Stop loss. 15 pips. Want to risk go 0.10. Take profit, we'll be looking at 40 pips. We've got that position in there. So we've taken today's low. So now we're creating a new low, you know. I don't know whether we'll come up into this position or not. The Euro USD, GBP USD. So again, we've got a today's low taken. See if we can get a reverse up back up to this high side. So set an alarm on here. And if I set an alarm on there, just to see if we can get a push and a change of character. We have got a fair value gap here as well, to be fair. That's today's low. The previous daily low, in all honesty, is right down here. So we could, in all honesty, have a position here. Go for a short. Let's have a look. Is that the Euro USD? It's going through today's low again. So with us having three in the basket, I'm bound to faff up on this at some point, to be fair. Again, break a structure. I will leave behind a fair value gap. Got a slight one here. 7 pips. We could do this and head towards the low, to be fair. So we'll go sell. We'll go 10 pips or 20. We're risking 0.0. So we'll see if we can target that low, to be fair. Again, we might lose out on this, to be fair, but we'll see. We'll get triggered. So we're triggered on the Euro USD. See, we'll get in on this one as well. Again, I may be biting off more than what I can chew, to be fair. 22 pips, 23 pips for 39. 23 pips, 39. Want to risk a 0.10. So we'll just put that into there. So we've got 3 trade setups. Again, we're sort of meandering around them now. We're going to start going into profit on this. We're targeting the previous daily low. In fact, what we need to do, we need to take this down to here. Put it on the today's low again. I think this trade's going to be a little bit dodgy, to be fair, because I really should be coming down into this area here with the fair value gap. But I'm waiting for it to mitigate into the full candle, to be fair. The GBP. I think at this stage, going on what we've got here, I might be best off just looking at one pair, to be fair, rather than having 3 in one go. I'll pause the video. I'll be back in a short while. We'll see where we are profit-wise. At the moment, as you can see, we are in profit, floating profit of $19.42. We took that accidental win this morning from $14 up to 17. Again, that Euro USD must be dropping for us. It's around about $1 in profit at the moment. So we'll hang fire. I'll pause the video. We'll be back in a short while and see how this all plays out. So the alarm's gone off again. Again, we've actually taken out the previous today's low. We're now coming down to the previous day low. I'm going to cancel that limit order off. I'm going to get rid of this. I want to get rid of this. So again, I can now get rid of that today's low because we're coming down to touch into this one to mitigate into it. The GBP USD, again, we're through today's low once again. We could be aiming towards here, the stop loss here, cancel that off. We could be aiming for today's low one of let's see, 10 pips. 10 pips for 20 pips. So we go 10 pips for 20 pips, risking a 0.10. We'll see if we'll get an entry in on this to target that previous daily low. We're being tagged in. Looking at this in hindsight, for me personally, I've got a little bit too much going on for 3 pairs. I could possibly knock it down to 2, in all honesty. This may come and sort of take us out, but I do believe it's too close to the previous daily low. So going on the concept that hopefully it's going to target that area, you know, we've actually taken out that today's low. So that is now today's low there. Again, the Euro USD is just meandering around on the today's low. We've had no further pushes down towards that. So we're 20 pips away from it hitting the level. Again, the GBP USD. Hopefully we're going to hold structure, and this might give us another push down, to be fair. The GBP JPY, we've come out of the trade because we're now on today's low. We'll come to more or less mitigate into it. So again, guys, at the moment, we are nicely coming into some profits on the Euro USD. Looks as if this is going to push down. The GBP USD is now pushing down as well. So let's just see if we can hit our targets on here. Okay, I'll pause the video. We'll be back in a short while. Again, we started the deal for around about $14 profit from yesterday, and it looks as if we're going to be more or less going into doubling that up today. Again, I don't want to move anything to break even. I'm collecting data at this stage, so it's either going to reach the targets or it's not going to reach the target. So I'm not moving any stop losses to break even and things like that. I'm just looking to take the trade into the positions that I've set out for it to target. Okay, so I'll pause the video. We'll be back in a short while. All right, so we're having a bit of a catch up, guys. So far the dust is settling a little bit. Obviously I've got previous daily low. It is now being, I'm going to target that off. Is it going to hit? That should be hit. Right, so we've gotten a 1 to 7 on that. We've now got the Euro USD still in play. Are we going to target down below on this one? We've grown some nice little profit there. I'm thinking about closing this one off, to be fair. It's still going to push down, to be honest, by the look of it. At this stage, we are around about a 1.69, 1.7. So again, I'm going to close this one off, to be fair, because now I would have gotten around about 2 or 3. In fact, no, let's keep it open. We've got the target to around about down the bottom here, which is a 1.2 to 2.85, to be fair. So 1.83, 2% is there. 2% gain to here. See if I can get the 2% gain. I'll be happy with the 2% with the 1 point odd that we've just got before. And then I will call that the session for today, okay? $1.79. I'm going to call it there, guys, okay? Let's have a look. 1.45, so that's more or less 1.5. So if I close that position out there. So we started at $10,014. I've now got the account to around about 10,046. I'm happy with those positions that we've got today. I'll pause the video. I'll be back in a short while once I try and figure out how to update, sorry, the dashboard, okay? So just bear with me. I'll pause the video, be back in a short while. Right, guys, so I've filled out the sheet the best I can. Okay, you can see here, we've now got a balance of 46.99. I've stopped trading for the London session because we've accumulated some good profit today. From there, so you see 46.99. I've had to mess around with the commission side at the moment, obviously on here, just so I get the dashboard onto 46.99. That's the account balance now. You can see here, excuse me, 10,046.99. 10,046.99. Now the trading dashboard, we've had 4 trades. Okay, we've had 4 wins, and the largest wins being $17.33 so far. So we'll look after the pennies, we'll look after the pounds. We've moved, excuse me. So we've moved the account. We've got a sharp ratio of 3.6. We've gained around about 0.5%. So even though we brought it down and lost just under 1% on the account, we're starting to gradually get it back. Good stats. This is a good journal. 100% win rate. Profit loss now up to $41.67 on top of the 5 that we had the other day. I mean, this is the account summary. The average wins around about $10.42. Average loss, we haven't sustained a loss as of yet from when I've been trading or journaling this. So that stays as it is with an error. From there, the largest win, $17.33. Largest loss, it does say where it's obviously going to take in the fact that the minimal win that we've had, which was $1.77. No, in fact, it was 77 cents. Okay, that was the mistake that we made this morning. We still closed it in profit though. Consecutive wins, most is 4. Again, it says consecutive loss 999, simply because we haven't took a loss yet. We've had 1 long trade. We've had 3. We've had 3 short trades. Average time in trade, we've been around about 7 minutes. And so far this month in January, we've took a total profit of $41.67. The reason why we have it at this and not the 46 is because we started the capital at $10,005.32. Okay, so you add this onto the starting balance, which was from the start of last week, would take us to this. So that works out on that. Going on the graphics, we've had no drawdown into the capital, which is good. Again, 4 winning trades for the month of January. We've got no reds yet because obviously we've not had any losses. So the monthly performance, based upon journaling this at the moment, obviously we're on the $40 mark here. We've got the accumulative profit to loss. We've got a good sort of equity curve because it's just going straight up with them wins. And these is the performance by currency pair, GBP USD. We took a small win on the GBP GPY, and then we've got the Euro USD. And the one strategy that I'm using at the moment is, in fact, that ICT method. From there, strategy dashboard. So I haven't been putting any data on this at the moment. I've got to add this on here. The statistics. Again, the multiple R. So this will be the sharp ratio on the 3.57. Going on the strategy dashboard, I must have to fill this out. I'll take it. And then it will give me open position, the leverage strategy that I'm using. Because it's not doing it itself, to be fair, but I can work upon that. Monthly report. Excuse me. This is where we are with the monthly report. And I'm liking this journal at the minute, to be fair. It's given us a concise rundown. But again, this is the main part that I would be looking at with regards to what I do on this. We're going to go into the New York session a bit later, see if we can get a trade on the New York session and bag a little bit more profit again. I'm only going to go into this risking a 0.10 of a risk, see if we can keep building on it, and if we can get towards the hundreds, let's say, we can start looking at increasing the risk a little bit. But overall, really pleased with what I'm seeing. Again, I mean, this is a great journal, to be fair. And like I said, we've got on here, it's just what we've done from a trading journal, trades for trades, entry times, buy and sell direction, the lot size used, the leverage. I've got a 1 to 100 on the account on the paper trade I'm doing, the pairs that we trade, the strategy that I do, the time frame, the price of entry. So on here it says here, on the normal pairs, you take the last 4 digits. On the JPY, you take the last 2 digits on here. And then when you've marked that out, it's going to give you your profits, and it fills out the risk management itself. And then it's giving you a maximum risk to reward based upon what you were after. And then from there, you put your close position, and then the green one works itself out, how many minutes you were in the trade. Obviously, pips with us being in sell. Obviously, we've got the minuses next to the sell because we were looking for sells. Buys will be a positive pip count. We've got the profit, including fees. So this is the profit that we took, the accumulative profit altogether. So this is the running total, okay? So again, this is what we took bit by bit. So we were on this bit here the other day with the commissions taken off. Obviously, it takes it down. And then we took another win, it grew it, it grew it, it grew it. We haven't taken a loss yet. And then from there, it's giving you a gain on the profits that we've taken. So far, we're just under 0.5% on growth, which again, when we go on the dashboard, over the moon with. So that'll coincide with this here, okay? So that's it, guys. That's it for the London session. I'm going to be doing New York a little bit later. Hopefully you've enjoyed what I've done here today. It was a little bit manic, to be fair, at the start. I might look at just putting it back down to two pairs to look at while I do this, just so I can get used to it. But all in all, profitable day on the London session. I shall catch you all a bit later.